I'm a 34-year-old woman who was only diagnosed with ADHD last week. I'm feeling relieved I got diagnosed, but also really sad as I feel like if I'd had help earlier, I might have been more successful. I've had some small, really successful points in my creative career, but I've constantly heard feedback from managers and professors over the years that I'm inconsistent and not living up to my full ability. This is pretty crushing for me, especially when I'm trying so hard all the time. How can I get my confidence back with creative projects and work?
All right. So this is a question that you have shared with me in advance, Andy. So I've taken a look at it and I'm going to answer it in two parts, if I may. And the first thing that I want to speak to you is at the beginning of the question when you said, I'm relieved, but I'm also really sad. And I can hear some self-criticism in there that you could have done things differently. And the thing that I want to say here is that we all kind of have a tendency for the current us to criticize the past us. But the thing is, I believe that the past us did the best with the information that they had to hand, right? I can look back today on my past and go, I shouldn't have done that. I didn't have all the information that I have now. So now that you've got the diagnosis and you're more informed, you can work with things in a different way and work with yourself in a different way. But I really want to encourage you to be self-supporting and self-serving and not self-critical. So look back on your story with curiosity, sure, but don't look back with criticism. So that's the first thing. There's actually Maya Angelou said, when we know better, we do better. You know, so you can't work with what you don't know. So that's the first thing. And now that you do know, you're asking in your question, how do I get my confidence back? And I think the thing with confidence is you've also got to look at what's blocking it. Like I can tell you what confidence is on a kind of intellectual level, on a cerebral level. But for that to convert, I would really like to encourage this lady to be really self-supporting. So even in the language that you use and the way you talk about your story and you reflect to yourself, make sure that's really positive, not critical, but really positive, a little bit like what I was saying a minute ago about looking back. You might even sometimes it's a useful exercise to find all the evidence of all the stuff you've done really well. Like write a list of all the things you've done really beautifully in the past 12, 24, 36 months. So you're beginning to reframe that in your own mind. And specifically, you said confidence with creativity. And my belief is that for your body to tap into a state, you need to do things that elicit that state. So outside of work, what are you doing that's making you feel inspired? What's making you feel creative? What's making you feel confident? And I think that with this new information and the new diagnosis, and it's also an opportunity to kind of reset, reframe, and start from a really positive basis, self-supporting basis, not self-critical basis, it's all to play for. And I wish you tremendous luck.
Excellent. Wes, anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, I kind of want to echo Katie's last points in particular. So this is something that this question really resonated with me because I think that I'll be really honest. I see therapists. I'm kind of on the spectrum as well. My daughter, we're going for this in my daughter as well. So we think she's got an element of ADHD. So we're talking to therapists, and I talked to her a lot about it. She's 8, and the other day she even, she was really, really upset, saying, "Why am I different?" And we were talking about it, and I'm trying to reframe it with her the same way my mentors reframed it with me. And it's about, like, I keep telling her, this is your superpower. This is what makes you, you. And I really think like this version of normal doesn't really exist for anyone, especially for creative people. We're all weird. There's all something about us that isn't perfect, that doesn't make us fit in. Our kind of job naturally kind of helps people like us. We kind of gravitate to this really weird job where people point us and say, have an idea. It's not a normal people can't kind of cope with what we're asked to do. So I've always reframed it. And I reframe it to my daughter as well. It's like, it's your superpower. It's what makes you you. She's really artistic. So there's definitely, I don't understand the science as well as Katie, but I really believe that creative people all have something about them that isn't this societal view of normal that makes them be able to do their job. And it's what makes us creative. And John Hegarty really picks up on this in his book, his autobiography and his book about magic. But he says creative people are forced to look at the world differently. They can't be controlled or put in a box. And you invite them into a meeting, you've got to be prepared for the consequences. And this is what I said to Andy coming onto this. It's like, I'm naturally not normal. I'm a creative. I'm going to say something ridiculous and you're going to have to put up with it. And I feel like, but I've always embraced that about myself and other creatives. I always give creatives a chance. So don't let it hold you back. Actually use it to like boost your confidence. And just one other anecdote as well. So I have a stammer, and I can really compare this to how you're talking about your ADHD as well. And I always was scared to do presentations. It was really holding me back until my ECD, he promoted us to creative directors when I was back at BBH. And he just said, look, he was talking about how well we were doing. He was like, oh yeah, you're the guy with the stammer. Don't give a shit about that. Just speak passionately, speak about what you know, and stick it to everyone. And it's the one bit of advice that's kind of stuck with me, even now. And this was like 10, 15 years ago. So I just advise you to use it as your superpower and reframe it in your own head as a positive. It's what makes you you, what makes you able to do your job so well.
I think
awesome.
that's
I could have sat here and just listen to that for another 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, me too, to be honest, Wes. That's gorgeous. It's lovely. And actually, you know, it's interesting because you said Katie will know more. Psychology, my degree is in psychology, which is diagnostic, but my master's is in psychotherapy. And the reason why I practice with psychotherapy is because it's non-diagnostic. Because it's not really, to give it a label is to make a load of assumptions. And as you've just said there, that they're nothing but assumptions. And to actually see it and hold it in your own interpretation of what it is, which is a really powerful, unique kind of essence. I think that was a really beautiful answer. I was smiling the whole time. You've gifted us all something.
I hope it helps. It's always easier when you draw on your own personal experience. Yeah. I said, this is the question that resonated with me most as well, because I've been there, I've been through it. I think it's about reframing it yourself and using it to fuel your career rather than hold you back.